Hello students, a very good afternoon to one and all. Today we are going to discuss the topic photosynthesis of class 7th bio. Now in the continuation of BDG ma'am, Bandna Datta Gupta ma'am, who had already discussed about what actually the meaning of the photosynthesis, what is the structure of the external structure of the leaves, as well as what actually the process of the photosynthesis. These all the topic already being covered by VDG ma'am. So in the continuation of the same, I would like to discuss about the internal structure of chloroplast. Let's start with the little bit reference from the photosynthesis. This is the process of food making in the plant body. This is the process of making of the food in the plant's body in the presence of the water minerals, chlorophyll, carbon dioxide and sunlight to convert the inorganic components into organic one. So that already being discussed. We are just going to discuss the internal structure of chloroplast, which is the site of photosynthesis. This is the site of photosynthesis. The organelles, the chloroplast is an organelles in the plant body. This is the organelles in the plant body cells, which is photosynthetically active, found in the photosynthetically active cells, especially in the mesophyll of leaves, palisade cells and the young stems. So we have to discuss, this is the chloroplast are the minute oval body bounded by the membrane, bounded by the two-layered membrane. Once more, the chloroplast is the oval bodies bounded by the double membrane, bounded by the two membrane. The first we have to discuss, that is known as the outer membrane. This is outer membrane and this one is the inner membrane. The main function of this particular membrane is to protect the organelles, protect the internal content of the organelles in the chloroplast. Actually, the outer membrane and inner membrane is a lipoproteinous membrane. This is made of lipoproteinous membrane. These are all, as well as it is the selective permeable membrane. This is the selective permeable. So both are made of lipoprotein and they are selective permeable membrane. What do you mean by the selective permeable membrane? The membrane which allowed the only materials necessary and useful for the cell, and rest of the material is resisted by these cells. That's why they are called the selectively permeable membrane. There is another thing, there is a gap between the two layers, within the outer as well as the inner membrane. This particular gap is to be known as periplastidial space. This is called periplastidial space. So please note it down, children. Now we are moving ahead and discussing about the thylakoids. These thylakoids, actually these are the flattened sacs. These are the flattened sac and they are made by the greenish membrane and greenish membrane. Then because of this thylakoids greenish membrane, it has a green color actually. Now we have another thing. around arranged, this particular membrane is arranged in a piling form. This arranged in the piling form, and this piling arrangement is called grana. And the single unit of this particular thylakoid is to be known as granum. So granum is the singular and grana is the plural. And this particular grana is contain the chlorophyll, and this is the site of grana. This is the site of photosynthesis. This is the site of photosynthesis. This photosynthesis process occur only in the grana, and they are all, lying in the matrix. This is the liquid which is filled inside the chloroplast, that is known as matrix. It's already being written here. Sorry, matrix, or that is known as stroma. Stroma matrix. This is also known as matrix or stroma. Now we have this is colorless substances which is fill up inside the inner membrane, and where all these materials are like thylakoids and grana, and the that is known as fret or lamellas are arranged. This is bounded by you can say bounded by a small binding, and this is small binding of this particular who is connecting the two grana is known as fret or lamellae. So please note it down. In a single cell, approximately 40 to 50 chloroplast cells, chloroplast are found 40 to 50 chloroplasts are found in a single cell, in a cell or in single cell, or in a cell. Now this is the chloroplast is a complex substances which is made composed of carbon, hydrogen. This chloroplast composed of carbon, hydrogen, and there is another substances, oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and there is another substances that is known as nitrogen, and the fifth is magnesium. This whole chloroplast is composed by these chemical components, that is carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium. So this is the complete structure of, the chloroplast, internal structure of chloroplast. Once more, the chloroplast is an organelle which is found in the plant cells, and give the green color to the plants. And the structure is once more made of is a bounded. This is the oval bodies. 40 to 50 chloroplasts are found in a cell, composed of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium, and the whole structure is bounded by the outer and inner membrane, and there is a flattened sacs bodies are found, membranous bodies are found. They are called thylakoids. They are arranged in a stack form or piling form. This is known as grana. which is the site of the photosynthesis. The photosynthesis occur here, and they are all, and the liquid which is filled inside, actually the chloroplast is known as matrix or stroma, and the two grana are interconnected to each other with the help of the stomatal or fret lamellae. This is the stomatal or fret lamellae. So this is the, and there is a one thing more, once more, there is a one thing more, there is a gap in the membrane. This gap is called periplastidial space. Hope children, you must have understood all these things. And this chloroplast is found in the three important areas of plant bodies, especially chloroplast is found especially in the mesophyll cell. Mesophyll cells found in mesophyll cells, palisade cells, there is another cells that is known as spongy cells. Spongy cells of leaves, and there is another site of the presence of the chloroplast that is known as guard cells. Guard cells of stomata, and there is one more thing where it is found, that is known as young grain stem. Young grain stems. So the process of photosynthesis is already being discussed, and here the remaining portion was the site of photosynthesis. So this is the place where the photosynthesis process occur. Now we are moving ahead and discussing about the significance of photosynthesis. Significance of photosynthesis. Significance, importance. Of photosynthesis. As we all were well aware about that, when the earth originated, it was having no life. The condition was completely anaerobic. The condition was completely anaerobic, and when the plants, green plants came on this earth, then they made the anaerobic condition into aerobic conditions. After that, the origin of life happened, occurred because of this particular, led to the origin of life because of the process of photosynthesis. Origin of life by converting anaerobic conditions into aerobic conditions. So photosynthesis helps into the origin of life. The second and very important importance is that this is the primary source of organic food. We all are well aware. Primary source of organic food. As we all know that on this planet Earth, only the green plants are the main, some other also are the main source of, that changing the inorganic material into the organic one. So whatever food the consumers are getting on this earth, it is being produced by the, that plants, by the process of photosynthesis. So this is the primary source of organic food. Without photosynthesis, there is no possibility of the supply of the food in the systems. Now another thing, it helped into the, and there is one thing more, excess sugars produced, excess sugar produced can be used, stored, can be stored in carbohydrates or another form, or another form of food, another form. So this is another important, extra food is going to convert. Now we have to come the next one. This help to, purify the air, as we all are well aware about the process of photosynthesis, which gives the two things, the output, a product by the process of photosynthesis are, the one main product is food and another product is what? Air, that is oxygen. So it absorbs the carbon dioxide, which is the impure, gas, which is not, life supporting gas to the animals on this earth, and it is converted by the plant into the organic one. Now we have another, importance, the fossil fuels. This is the main source of fossil fuels. Dear children, whatever coal we are using today, whatever petroleum we are using today, whatever natural gas we are using today, it is the burial part of the plants on this earth, which is stored, carbon, hydrogen and oxygen during the process of the photosynthesis. So whatever source of fossil fuels, whatever we are getting, like petroleum, coal, natural gas, etc., is only the source of the photosynthesis. So I hope you must have understood that the photosynthesis is not only the way to produce the food, but it has some other significances. Like this is the, purifier. This process purify and maintain the balance of the oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. It is also one of the very important source of the fossil fuels. These plants, after the buried down, after the death, they buried down and produces the petroleum, coal and natural gas, which we can use, which we are using in a very hefty amount for the economic progress, for the economic growth and other activities. And this is one of the most important primary source of the organic food in ecosystem. If there is no photosynthesis, the whole ecosystem will collapse, can't survive, because the transformation of energy will block if there is no process of photosynthesis, because there will be no food on this earth. So this is actually the significance, main significance of the photosynthesis. So let's start the next points. So this is the significance, please note it down. Now we are coming to the next particular points, that the factors which are affecting the process of photosynthesis. We are going to discuss the next particular process that is known as the factors affecting photosynthesis. Factors affecting the photosynthesis. Factor affecting the photosynthesis. Yes, the raw materials which are required for the process of photosynthesis is in a balanced way, in a balanced amount, in an optimum amount. Like the plant needs water and minerals, they should be in an appropriate amount. They need carbon dioxide, that amount should be in a proper way, in a balancing way. They need that water plus minerals also should be there should be a proper sunlight, etc., etc. And if these particular material and other factors are going to that in excess or in less amount, ultimately the process of photosynthesis disturbs. So there are the certain factors. First factors we have to discuss, that is the light intensity. Light. Three things: intensity, quality and quantity of light. Intensity, light intensity. Light intensity. In the light intensity, there should be a proper sunlight. It has two things. One is the quality. Quality. What do you mean by the quality? As we know, in sunlight, there are the 7 colors. There are the 7 colors, and these 7 colors are having the different quality. And the most appropriate and suitable quality of light, color quality of light is the blue and there is a red. The quality is a good maximum photosynthesis in the blue color and blue and red color of light. Meanwhile, it is minimum in the green color. So this affects these factors, the quality as well as the quantity. Means when the light intensity increase, when the light in the morning we can see, there is a slow process of, there is a less intensity of the light. When it increases, the intensity of light increases at the same pace, the same way, the process of photosynthesis also increases. So I hope this particular point is also understood. There is one thing which is very important, that is in the morning and evening, there is a low light intensity, and at the same time, therefore CO2 released during the that respiration is equal to the amount used during the photosynthesis, called compensation point. That is called compensation point. Compensation point. In the morning and in the morning and evening. morning and evening, the intensity of light is less. So low light is there, low intensity of light is there. So what happened actually, whatever the carbon dioxide is being taken by the plant during this period is equal to the oxygen, oxygen is taken for the process of the respiration. So that amount, consumption of CO2 is equal to the liberation of oxygen. That is compensation point. Whatever amount it takes for the process of photosynthesis, whatever amount of carbon dioxide is being taken for the process of photosynthesis is equal to the oxygen liberated during the process of respiration. That's why it's to be known as compensation point. Now the next and very important, that is carbon dioxide. The next point we have to discuss. As we all know that another factor, the CO2 is one of the most important raw materials for the process of photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, it's very, very important. Second raw materials for the process of photosynthesis. It's needed, it is very, very dire needed for the photosynthesis process, but in appropriate amount. Increases CO2, increases rate of photosynthesis. Increases rate of photosynthesis. Now, high concentration of CO2, if there is a more concentration, like in cities, you must have seen the leaves of the plants are, that seem to blackish in color. That the carbon contents are deposited and they block the stomatal pores. And when they block the stomatal pore, then ultimately the intake of sunlight reduces and the process of photosynthesis automatically reduces. So this factors also affects the rate of photosynthesis. The next is, third factor is there, temperature. Another temperature. Temperature is the more temperature, as we know, as in the morning the temperature is less, so rate of photosynthesis is also less. As soon as the temperature of atmosphere increases, ultimately the rate of photosynthesis also increases. And optimum temperature for the process of photosynthesis is optimum temperature for this process is 10 to 35 degrees Celsius. 10 to 35 degrees Celsius. Up to 30 degrees Celsius, as the sunlight increases, up to rate of photosynthesis double with each increase of, 10 degrees Celsius temperature. The rate of photosynthesis just double and increase the rate of temperature 10 degrees Celsius. Each 10 degrees Celsius temperature increases means it doubles till the 30 degrees Celsius. But the very high temperature, at the very high temperature, the process slowed down. Now, there are the certain plants, those who are found in the cold areas, cold climatic conditions, and there are the certain plants, those who are having a dense forest, who are having a dense canopy, so the lower canopies plants cannot receive the excess amount of the sunlight. So at that very place, the process of photosynthesis can be happened in a very minimum temperature, less temperature. Now the another factors which we have to discuss, the last, that is the water. Water. As we know that the water is one of the most precious resource and raw material for the process of photosynthesis. We must have seen, if we are not going to give the water to the to our that garden pots, ultimately the plants can be seen wilting. Why they are wilting? Because of the that lack of water. So just I would like, whatever water is being absorbed by the particular plant, it's only 1% is used for the process of photosynthesis. Whatever the amount of water, total water is being absorbed by the roots of the plants, it's 1% is only used by the for the photosynthesis process, and rest of the water is going to going to loss either in form of evaporation or transpiration rate. So if there is a less water, ultimately there will be less transpiration process, there will be less evaporation process. If there is a less water, then the closeness of the opening and closing of stomata, mechanism of opening and closing of stomata is dependent on the availability of the water. When there is a less amount of water, the stomata will open in a very less area, so it will receive the less sunlight, and ultimately the photosynthesis process will also be slowed down. So it controls the internal opening and closing of stomata, which is main source of exchange of gases, carbon dioxide as well as the sunlight. So the appropriate amount of water is very utmost important for the process of photosynthesis. When it less, ultimately the rate will less, and when it increases, the rate of photosynthesis will also increase. So that's all for the day to children, and please note down all these means notes in your separate notebook and prepare it for the coming unit test. Thank you so much.